Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Nate, and we are playing My Garage. I hope you all are doing well today. We are continuing our how to series in My Garage. Today, as you see in front of us, we have a bunch of parts for the i6 diesel engine. So, today I'm going to show you guys all the parts needed and how to assemble an i6 diesel engine in My Garage. And then after we build the regular i6 diesel engine, I will show you how to convert it and add a turbo to the i6 diesel to make it the i6 diesel turbo version. Okay? So first off, I'm going to show you if you don't know what the i6 diesel looks like in a vehicle, the most common vehicle I would say you're going to find the i6 diesel in is the Wolf. So let's head on over to the Wolf. And as you see, that is the i6 diesel without a turbo. All right. So now, as we have all the parts laid out here for the i6 diesel engine, this is what the i6 diesel engine looks like, all put together outside of a vehicle. Pretty cool, huh? I'd say so. And then right over here is the i6 diesel with turbo. Not too much different. There's just a few other things that are different about the diesel version. This has a HP fuel pump, I think this is called here. Could be wrong about this. Which is obviously different than this one here. And there's a little bit of differences between the two engines, but we will get into that. And if you guys did notice this beautiful 86 Ford Fox body, she is a beauty. And then we have a twin turbo supercharged V8 under the hood. Now you'll need mods to do all this stuff like I've done here. So yeah, a lot of this stuff right here you'll see is not base game. Actually, anything with this car here is not base game stuff. So you'll need mods to achieve this. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Show you guys a little something something, you know, before we get to engine building. But yeah, really cool, really cool. Still got the old beat up, wrecked up Wolf wagon sitting here. Still don't know what I'm going to do with that. So let's get to work. We have all of our parts out here. Already ready to go. So let's go into the catalog and I will show you all the parts you will need to build the i6 diesel engine in My Garage. So let's go to the parts store, select i6D. Like I said, we have the Wolf out there. You can select the Wolf in the drop-down menu if you like. But here we just have the i6 diesel. Or whatever car you want to put the i6 diesel in. You might want to put it in a Lad or a Chad or a Bart, Jesse, whatever you want. You can. If I wanted to, I have that mod, that 86 Fox body sitting out there. If I wanted to swap out that V8 with a i6 diesel, hey, could do that. So we're in the i6 diesel category, the i6D. What you're going to need is, we're going to drop down. Remember, don't forget your fuel line. Without your fuel line, you won't be able to start your vehicle. So let's drop down a little bit more. You're going to need this starter here. Let's drop down a little bit more. You're going to need this camshaft sprocket, clutch plate, clutch pressure plate, crankshaft sprocket, flywheel. We'll drop down a little bit. These here, the turbo stuff, comes later. Pistons, you'll need 6 of these, guys. Drop down a little bit more. You'll need this water pump here. Air filter housing, air filter lid, alternator belt, alternator bracket, camshaft, crankshaft pulley, block 3.0 DI6, cylinder head cover L, exhaust manifold L. So you'll need both of these. They have the same name, but you'll need each of these. Fuel filter, fuel hoses, fuel pump. You'll need 6 glow plugs. You need the glow plugs because it's a diesel. Glow plug relay, head gasket. You'll need 6 injectors. Intake manifold. You'll need this oil filter housing, oil filter lid, oil pan, steering pump, timing chain, timing cover, engine fan. And then lastly, you'll need this belt tensioner. That's what you need for just the standard i6 diesel engine. So let's go over to our toolbox, grab our wrench, and let's grab our block and put it onto the engine stand. Let's twirl this around here. So we got some good access to the bottom of the block. And then we'll take our crankshaft we have sitting here. Then you'll put your crankshaft into your block and tighten down the bolts. Just like that. Now it's time to put on our 6 pistons. There are 2 bolts with each piston that you have to tighten down. Okay, now there we go. Now we have all pistons tightened down onto the crankshaft. Now let's put on our oil pan. There's going to be 5 bolts on each side of the oil pan. There's not any bolts in the front or the rear, just on the sides. Now, let's move the engine right side up in a way. Kind of at an angle here if you want. Now, best thing to do is throw on the head gasket. Remember, don't forget your head gasket. It's very important. If you forget your head gasket, your engine's going to overheat. And then basically the engine's just going to cook itself. And then your new, freshly built engine is going to be junk. And you're going to have to rebuild it. Now, after you have your I forgot what it was called, guys. Your head gasket. I don't know why I forgot that. Sorry, the name of it. After you have your head gasket onto your block, then you want to put your cylinder head onto your block and tighten down your head. There are 6 bolts on this head. Now, once you have your head tightened down, grab your camshaft. And now we can install our camshaft. Sometimes these bolts on the camshaft are a little hard to tighten down because you have to almost be precise where you get the green bolt to light up. Like here, I could have my cursor right on top of the bolt and it won't. I found on the side here, you'll get the green bolt and you can tighten it down. I don't know why it's like that. For this engine, for tightening down the camshaft, but It is. Now let's grab our camshaft sprocket. There's one bolt to tighten that down, and then grab our camshaft. What is this again? Yeah, your other crankshaft sprocket. And that just goes on there. There's no bolts to tighten it down, anything like that. Now what we need to do is grab your fuel pump, put your fuel pump on. There is a bolt behind here, and then you have your bolt down here. Now you have that on, these other gears and things show up. So now we can grab our timing chain and install your timing chain. Then you want to grab this cover here, put the cover on. There are 5 bolts with this cover. 3 on this side, and 1 here, and 1 down here. See, there's not another one anywhere else. Just those 5. Now what we should do, let's put on our cover. Or what's the proper name for it? Cylinder head cover. We can put that on, install it, bolt it down. Close the top engine, close the top end of the engine up. Now from here, you got basically the basic unit of it all put together. So now you can just start assembling stuff on the outside of the engine. So best thing to do maybe would grab the crankshaft pulley, install it right here. 1 bolt tightens it down. Let's grab this guy here, the belt tensioner. Put that on. There's just 1 bolt to tighten it down. Grab your water pump, which goes right here. There are 2 bolts for your water pump. 1 right here, and there's 1 right down here. Once you get that on, you can take your water pump, or your steering pump, excuse me, and it installs right there. And there are four bolts to tighten this down. 2 in the front right here, and 2 in the back. Now we can grab our alternator bracket. Your alternator bracket bolts up right down here. And there are 2 bolts for the alternator bracket. Now you can grab your alternator and bolt that to your alternator bracket. There are 2 bolts for your alternator. 1 right back here and 1 right there. Okay, things are coming together nicely, I'd say. Now grab your fuel filter. Your fuel filter bolts right there. 1 bolt and it bolts down. Now we can grab the starter. Starter bolts right there. There's 2 bolts with the starter. There you go, the starter's on. Now we can grab our belt and install our belt. There you go. Not too bad, huh? Now grab your flywheel. And there's 6 bolts with your flywheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. Grab your clutch plate. Your clutch plate just snaps in place. There's no bolts for it. And then your clutch pressure plate. There are 6 bolts to tighten the clutch pressure plate down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. There you go. Now we can assemble our air filter and air filter housing. This goes right here. 2 bolts at the top, right there. You're good to go. Grab your air filter, install your air filter in your housing, and then your air filter lid. 2 bolts on top of the air filter lid to keep your air filter in. Just like that. Now we can take our fan and assemble it on the front of our engine. 1 bolt tightens that fan down. Now what we can do from here, the best thing that I suggest is installing your injectors and your glow plugs. Okay? Before you put on any exhaust. And you'll see why I say that. Because there's a lot of stuff going in one area on this engine. And it can be hard to get to some bolts to tighten down this exhaust. Or vice versa, to tighten down and put in your injectors and your glow plugs. So let's get the glow plugs in. Or excuse me, glow plugs. I might have said blow plugs. Alright, let's get those 6 in. Alright, after we get 6 in, I like to grab the spark plug wrench. That's how you would tighten these guys down. The same with the glow plugs. So just tighten these down like you would spark plugs. We're going to leave that guy out for right now, because now we have to put in our glow plugs. These guys go right here in the smaller holes. This engine isn't hard to assemble, but if you don't know what you're doing, it could be tricky. But I guess you could say that with all the engines. But especially this diesel engine is a little bit more, I would say, complex than any of the other engines. That's just kind of my opinion, but except maybe if you get to the i6R, which that's going to be the next video, I believe, before we do the V8. So, yeah, the i6R is going to be even a little tricky for me, but I think we can handle it. So now take your blow plugs once you have them in, tighten them down. And now that you've got those tightened down, put my spark plug wrench back in there so I don't lose it. Now we have those in. I would say pick up your wrench again. Grab this little guy here. Looks like a little module or something. I don't know. But what it's called is your glow plug relay. Install that. It's going to install to the side of the head. The cylinder head. Or is it the block? No, that's the, well, no, I think that's the side of the cylinder head it would install to. And then tighten that down with 2 bolts. And that connects to your glow plugs. Now, throw on your fuel hoses. Once you have those on, grab your wrench again, because there are 6 bolts with your fuel hoses that you have to tighten down. If you don't tighten them down, your fuel hoses won't stay. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you have your fuel hoses tightened down to your engine. And they won't go anywhere. Or at least they shouldn't. Alright, so now let's grab this exhaust manifold L that's going to go on this side of the engine. Go ahead and feel free to bolt that down. Once you get that bolted down, grab this guy here. Oop, I just dropped it through the table, guys. Your exhaust manifold L here, and it bolts right up to your other exhaust manifold L. 2 bolts there and 2 bolts down here. Now, grab this guy here. Your intake manifold. This guy is going to bolt up right over here. There are quite a few bolts with this guy. Some of them can still be a little tricky to get to because you have so much stuff over here on this side of the engine. But just tighten those down. See, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 bolts to tighten down this intake. Now, once you have that in, okay, go here, grab your air filter housing. It's going to bolt up right here. 2 bolts right to your intake. Grab your air filter. Goes right in, pops right in. Don't need to do anything else. And then your air filter lid pops right in place. You don't need to do anything else. I just want to show you guys, if you need to get this air filter lid off, grab your pry tool. You see how it highlights the green? I don't know how well you guys can see that in the recording. But there you go. Loosens it right up. Comes right off. And there you go. All right. So, that is your i6 diesel engine put together. So there you go. If that's just all you want, you don't want a turbo on it, take it off the stand, slap it in your car. If you guys want to see how you take out an engine or put an engine in, that process explained, go watch my i4 video build tutorial on the i4 engine, and it will show you in that tutorial how to take out an engine and also explain how to put one in. It's the opposite of each other. So, all right, so now we got to switch gears to, if you would want to convert this or add a turbo to your i6 diesel engine. So these are the parts you're going to need that I'm picking up, putting on the table here. These are the parts you're going to need to complete this to make it a turbo. You're going to need your exhaust header turbo, exhaust manifold L, this kind of an exhaust manifold L. It is a little different than this one here. Your intake manifold. Okay, so this is an intake also, right? But you want this other intake for the turbo. Your turbo and then your air filter turbo. So that's what you're going to need. I will show you the parts in the catalog for those. So if you come down here, and also this engine also has HP parts just like any other engine. You can use the injector HPs, right? You can swap out the regular injectors we put in and put in the HP injectors. I would recommend putting all HP parts on this engine you can if you're going to do the turbo. But that's just my recommendation. Swap out those injectors, put in these HP injectors. This fuel pump HP. Put this one on. For the turbo stuff, you're going to need the intake manifold turbo, which is this guy I showed you. And then this exhaust manifold turbo, which is this one. Okay. And then if we go back up here a little bit. You're going to have your turbocharger, your exhaust header turbo, and your air filter turbo. These guys right here you're going to need for your turbo build. We scroll back down here. Some of the other HP parts that are part of this diesel engine is the crankshaft, the camshaft, and the pistons HP. I believe, yeah, those are all of the HP parts for this engine. Like I said, if I was going to do the turbo, I'd put all the HP parts you could on. Now here, I only put I did put the plugs in, and then this fuel housing here. Well, it has a different name, but you get what I'm saying. All right, so now we're going to have to take some things off to make this a turbo. I'm going to show you guys how, so pay attention. We no longer need this air filter. So, take off the air filter housing completely. And that air filter is still inside of that. Okay. Now what you want to do is now take off the intake. a little too far there. See, they're a little tricky to get to because there's so much on this side of the engine. So you're going to want to take this guy off. Now, cruise around to this side. Adjust the engine here a little bit. We're going to want to take this exhaust off here. And that unbolts just like that. If you want to, you can unbolt every little thing if you want to and undo every little, the air filter and everything. You can do all that. I'm just fast forwarding through all that. So now what you want to do is let's grab our exhaust manifold L. That goes over to this side. And let's tighten down the exhaust. Now when you have your exhaust tightened down, grab your intake, and your intake will bolt up right there. Oh, there we go. It's got to be there somewhere. There we go. Okay, bolt that intake down. Like I said, even for me, it's tricky to get to the bolts. It is. It's tricky. Now let's grab our fun parts. The turbo. Because turbos are cool. They're fun. And then to grab your turbo filter. Put that guy right there. Oh yeah, your turbo has 2 bolts. Sorry. Now, let's adjust this engine so we can see something here. This turbo filter has 1 bolt right here. Tighten her down. There you go. Then grab your exhaust header turbo. Install to the back of the turbo. If we can get our check mark, there we go. 2 bolts for this guy. Straighten the engine back up a little bit. And there you go. You've successfully added a turbo to your i6 diesel engine. So now you have an i6 diesel turbo engine. So there you go. Now, like I said, I would add all the HP parts that you could to this engine if you were going to do the turbo. Like I said, that's just me. You may think differently, but you know, that's all up to you. So yeah, guys, I think that's gonna pretty much do it. Just a little reminder. Remember, like I said, remember your fuel line when installing your engine. Without your fuel line, your engine won't start. And remember, your engine oil and your coolant. Most engines, I found, take 3 bottles of oil or 3 quarts of oil. And your radiators take 2 jugs or bottles of coolant. Sometimes some radiators a little less than 2, but pretty much that's what I found. So if you were ever wondering how much coolant and oil that each engine and radiator takes, well, there you go. So, and a little tip to get these in the reservoirs a little better is go grab you a funnel and stick your funnel in the hole so you can pour your fluids in easier. So, yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for this i6 diesel engine build tutorial. Hopefully it helped you out. If it did, leave the video a like. If you have any comments, any questions about this video, about building the i6 diesel engine or turbo diesel engine in my garage, let me know down below. If I know the answer, I'll let you know. You know, odds are that I know the answer, most likely. So, don't be afraid to ask. So, all right, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it very much. And until next time, guys, have a great one.